Hi! In this video, we are going to make apple cider vinegar. But first and foremost, what is apple cider vinegar? Apple cider vinegar is the fermented juice of crushed apples. It contains acetic acid and nutrients such as B vitamins and vitamin C. It was in South England, France, and Spain that the technique of fermenting and later distilling the fruit was perfected. Apple cider vinegar has been used medically for centuries, but in recent years, apple cider vinegar has enjoyed a surge in popularity due to its natural remedies for various health problems. These include weight loss, reduced cholesterol, lower blood sugar levels, and heart health. Now, let us know more about fermentation and apple cider with Kurht Liston.
Fermentation is the chemical breakdown of a substance by bacteria, yeasts, or other microorganisms, typically involving effervescence and the giving off of heat. There are three types of fermentation. The first one is lactic acid fermentation, wherein yeast strains and bacteria convert starches or sugars into lactic acid. This also occurs in human muscle cells during strenuous activity. This method makes kimchi and sourdough, to name a few. The next type is ethanol fermentation or alcohol fermentation, wherein yeasts break pyruvate molecules in starches or sugars down into molecule and carbon dioxide molecules. Alcohol fermentation produces wine and beer. The last type, which our product apple cider vinegar falls into, is acetic acid fermentation, wherein starches and sugars from grains and fruit, in this case apple, ferment into sour-tasting vinegar and condiments. The term vinegar actually refers to the two-step process of fermentation, from a carbohydrate to an alcohol to an acetic acid. Sugar is converted into alcohol, which is then fermented into vinegar. Not all acetic acids are vinegar, although all vinegars are made from acetic acid. Products of this method include our product ACV, wine vinegar, and kombucha. Let's learn how to make ACV with Nina Arciaga.
Alright, let's go!
So these are the ingredients: 6 cups of apples, chopped pieces, cores or peels from a variety of apples, 6 to 7 tablespoons of sugar or honey, and 6 to 7 cups of pure water, warm but not hot. And this is the procedures on how to make apple cider vinegar.
The sugar will ferment and turn into alcohol, making the apple cider become a apple cider vinegar.
Let's start off by cutting the apples into cubes. We used 6 apples for this recipe. Make sure to rinse your apples before using them to ensure that they are clean and also to help remove the bacteria from the outside. After cutting them, transfer the cubed apples into a bowl and set aside. And also, don't forget to clean your station. Then, fill your jars 3/4 of the way with the cubed apples. Next, pour warm water into the jar only until all of the apples are submerged. Do not overfill your jars because as it turns into vinegar, it will get very bubbly and even overflow and make a mess. So make sure to leave enough space. After that, add 6 to 7 tablespoons of sugar. Now, I'm gonna use a pastry brush to give this a good stir and get everything nicely mixed. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is, we're gonna cover the jar with a cheesecloth. You can also use a coffee filter if you like. And then, we're gonna use a rubber band to keep the cloth in place.
Any exposed apple will begin to rot rather than to ferment into vinegar. As the apples ferment into cider and eventually vinegar, the mixture still need to be able to breathe. That's why the cheesecloth will keep everything out in a jar but still let the gases release during the fermentation process.
And then you're gonna put this somewhere warm and undisturbed in your kitchen. This is what it looks like 2 days later. As you can see, bubbles started forming. After a week, the appearance of the water, sugar, and apple solution had changed, and the bubbles can still be observed. After 2 weeks, I strained out the solids and transferred the liquid solution into another jar and covered it again with a fresh cheesecloth. The apple cider vinegar is complete when it has a strong apple cider vinegar smell and taste. You can allow it to ferment longer if not. That's all. Thanks for watching.